The relationship with the ANC and the South African Communist Party has been on roller skates lately. The SACP is like the symbolic faction of the ANC, with not such a large-scale following on its own, but whose exit would signal a sort of distrust towards your party. Because it is good and well when your enemies like the DA and others are speaking poorly about you. When it's your friends, then people start getting concerned. And the same is true for voters, which is why the reaction towards the Floyd and Malema split has been so large. The breakup between the ANC and the SACP seems imminent. The crowd's negative reaction towards the speech given by the Communist Party was telling of how little ANC voters care of these people. Now watch this clip and notice the gradual groans of the crowd, and imagine if Gwede was not there.
Not to leave the alliance, an alliance we have dedicated so much time to building over the last 100 years. Those who say Mabahambe need to analyze and theorize the moment very well. I appeal to all the leaders of the alliance. We must not engage in populist name-calling insults, personal attacks, but come together and debate the issues, debate the difficult moment. A few points for our way forward. The working class are the majority of our people, and they need large-scale state participation in critical infrastructure, a comprehensive poverty eradication programs to lift our people out of poverty, a radical program to resolve the crisis, high wealth and income inequality.
Executive Committee. Funa sifunde into encinci. Uyabona ka use meeting njengale ndinibole ndisithi hamba emeetingini umamela into oyithandayo umamela nento ongayithandiyo. Yi-essence ye-meeting ke leyo. Uba besicela nje into esizithandayo ngengekho umntu siyevana imbeko iyamakha umuntu.
It is when the SACP speaker reiterated that they would want to leave their alliance with the ANC because of its ties to the DA that the crowd started to turn on him. What might have provoked a reaction from the crowd could be agitated out of the perceived betrayal of the SACP, or they could just not be fond of that anti-GNU rhetoric. It may be a culmination of both options. But before getting jeered by the crowd, Comrade Thulas Nxesi offered other reasons why he believed that the SACP and ANC alliance need a quote renewal.
We have a crisis of over 12 million unemployed, active and discouraged work seekers, and further retrenchments, including the recent unacceptable announcement to terminate the workers' contracts in the public employment programs. And these are mainly young people. The material conditions caused by the racialized and gendered crisis, high rates of unemployment, poverty and inequality are amongst the objective factors that have badly affected the ANC's performance in the elections. Subjective factors such as internal divisions and fragmentation along state capture and other forms of corruption clearly impacted the ANC's electoral and political support, with far-reaching implications for the alliance as a whole. Hence, the call for the renewal. We, the SACP, remain in the alliance and...
Therefore, he provides 5 reasons: unemployment, retrenchment, racialized and gendered material conditions, internal divisions, and state capture. I will ignore the last 2 points because that's an ANC problem. But on the idea of racialized and gendered material conditions, it is because men are more competitive, often take higher financial risks, and are more likely to ask for a raise or a promotion than women would. They on average earn higher than South African women. And on the idea of racialized material conditions, yes, we agree. But the idea of a Marxist redistribution which arbitrarily takes from the rich and gives to the poor will not help the material conditions of South Africans. In terms of the first 2 problems he outlined, which are unemployment and retrenchment. Now, the reason why the issue of employment should be fixed by an employment in business enterprises is that in theory, the government can employ as many people as it can, but when that arbitrary redundant employment happens, inflation follows, and in turn the whole country suffers because of it. Therefore, employments are not made equally, and the strengthening of the private sector will benefit South Africans. What I would also like to point out, since we are speaking to a leader of the South African Communist Party, is that Karl Marx, the founder of communism, saw capitalism and its important industrial development as a necessary step towards a communistic future. Marx writes, "The development of the productive forces under capitalism, and particularly the introduction of machinery, creates the material conditions for the abolishing of capitalist production and its replacement by socialist production." Therefore, when the private industries are suffocating the South African businesses through BEE and other regulations, the communist delays his own end goal. Because investments and businesses which stimulate industrial development have suffered, as ANC has pushed more and more socialist policies like NHI and the likes. These pushes, according to Marxist theology, pushes communism further and further back. So, Mr. Nxesi, we welcome the communists distancing themselves from the ANC, and frankly, you should too. It is here, gentlemen and ladies, we close our argument as Yetibe. Good day.